Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome today's guest speaker. 写真撮る方いらっしゃったら前の方へどうぞ。はい。
Hi everybody, my name is Karin Nishimura. Welcome to the Foreign Correspondent Club of Japan. I'm a French journalist for newspapers Libération and Radio France, and I'm also a member of the PAC committee who is organizing press conferences in this club. Today's press conference will be about a dark side of Japan, dark side of host club business, which is more than a business, it's an industry, according to our guest today. Two guests who are studying and fighting against very difficult matter in this host club business. So they will explain us what is happening now in Japan and how serious it became, especially during the Corona crisis, the COVID crisis. So we have two main guest speakers, Mr. Gen Hidemori, who is the founder of Council of Fathers and Mothers to Protect Youth, and Yoshihide Tanaka is the Secretary General of the same council, and both will speak about the situation and will answer many questions, I hope, because they have a lot of information and things to say about this situation in host club where young women are forced to sell their body to give the money to host after I've spent time with them. So please welcome our two guests. Mr. Yoshihide Tanaka will speak first, and after that Mr. Hidemori also. The floor is yours. We have an interpreter today. I don't know if it's the first time, but welcome. And, please.
Thank you very much. This is the first time to be here for me. Thank you.
Tanaka.
本日はこの場を設けていただいてありがとうございます。青少年を守る父母の連絡協議会、略称聖母連と言います、の事務局の、田中義秀です。今日よろしくお願いします。当協議会の代表、現秀盛が、ですね、21年以上、新宿歌舞伎町で、活動してきてますけど、そこに新たにこの、協議会を立ち上げました。
So thank you very much for having me today and giving us this opportunity to address you today. My name is Yoshihide Tanaka, Executive Director of Seibokai, or Council of Fathers and Mothers to Protect Youth. Our head, Gen Hidemori, has been working in Kabukicho, Shinjuku for 21 years, and he and we newly established this new council to protect young women.
事務所があるですね、歌舞伎町の目の前、大久保公園なんですけども、その大久保公園に、ですね、がですね、売春地帯なんです。で、コロナ禍明けとですね、並行して、若い女性たちがですね、急激に増えている状況がありました。で、それと並行してですね、親御さんからだろう、人たちから、電話相談が急激に増えました。で、その内容は何かっていうと、いわゆる悪質なホストにハマっている子たちだったんですね。で、親御さんからも電話も、どうも娘がホストにハマっていると、どうすればいいんだろうという相談が急激に増えました。で、その今、メディアとかでも話題になっているように、いわゆるその20歳前後の、女性のですね、恋愛感情を利用して、高額な飲食代を、請求する、悪質ホストクラブの、被害なんです。で、それはですね、結果的にですね、売春、そして海外買収まで、いわゆるその人身売買と言っていいと思いますのする実態が明らかになってきている、その組織犯罪の温床にもなっています。その点をですね、今日の記者会見できっちりと告発していきたいなと思っています。
So, Okubo Park, in front of Kabukicho, where our office is located, is a kind of prostitution area. In parallel with the end of the COVID pandemic, prostitution among young women has increased significantly. We have a lot of consultations from the parents of those young women. Like, our daughter is, tricked into hosts and they're spending a lot of money. It's really malicious host business. And they exploit the romantic feeling of women is around 20 or even younger and charge them for higher prices for food and drink. These young women are victims of host club malicious business style. This is actually like kind of human traffic, and young women are put into prostitution in Japan and also overseas. So we'd like to, talk about this kind of reality, and we'd like to accuse this kind of issue.
この問題の大きな特徴はですね、当事者からの相談がない、ほとんどない。それ全部親御さんからなんです。で、それ客観的に見ればですね、いわゆる20歳前後の子たち、女性たちからですね、払えるはずのない高額ないわゆる売りかけを背負っているのに、まだ返済しようとする点なんですね。これはまさに、いつもゲントも話してるんですけど、非常にカルト的な部分もカルトの問題と同じだと私たちは認識しています。
So a key feature of this social problem is that there is almost no consultation from the parties concerned, which is young women. The consultation is almost always from their parents. Honestly speaking, the point is that they are trying to repay the debt, even though they are carrying expensive amount of account receivable or urikake, that they would not be able to responsible for it. We would like to point out this is exactly the same problem as a cult in Japan.
聖母連は今年の7月20日に設立したんですけど、明日でちょうど、5ヶ月の活動になるんですけど、200件以上のですね、相談を、来てます。それから70件以上のもう面談を、しています。全国から来ます。で、私たちとしても、この相談を乗りつつですね、条例化、 そして法制化への取り組みも、コミットしてきました。ただこのホスト問題ですね、追及はできてないですし、それにつながっているその売春への、女性たちの、いわゆる従事に対してどうすればいいのかっていう問題も追及できてない。国内の無関心さは変わってません。やっぱりこの問題、先ほど言ったようにマインドコントロール下に置かれてですね、女性たちが。でかついわゆるアンダーグラウンドなその多数のですね組織が関わっていて、で一人の女性を心理的にもそして、身体的にも拘束してます。よりその詳しい内容をですね、今から、代表の源の方に報告してもらおうと思います。
So we have been active for 5 months, just about 5 months, and we have received more than 200 consultations, and we did like more than 70 times face-to-face consultations. These come from all over the country. We have also been working towards the creation of ordinance and legislation, but we have not been able to investigate enough about this club issue, this host club issue. And the indifference in this country remains the same. They use mind control or they brainwash young women with numerous underground organizations involved. And they restrain young women physically and psychologically. This kind of process, Mr. Hidemori again, head of this council, is going to explain you in more detail.
はい、はい、どうもありがとうございます。Our interpreter today is Ryota Minato。ありがとうございます。引き続きどうぞ。
本日はありがとうございます。青少年を守る父母の連絡協議会代表の源秀森です。新宿歌舞伎町からの日本のアンタッチャブル、それを暴きます。ホスト産業について全くカルト集団であると。ホストは若者を狙い全国で展開しています。恋愛詐欺商法を使い、この子ならそこに売れる、これぐらい稼げそうだという想定まで立てて国内や海外への風俗を生かせます。12月12日、新宿町への条例化を求める署名を提出しました。オーナーと新宿の連絡会については、全く除外されています。いわゆるはしごを下ろされました。
So thank you very much for your time today. My name is Hidemori again, head of the Council of Father and Mother to Protect Youth, Seibokai. Today we are going to uncover the untouchable dark side of Japan from Shinjuku Kabukicho. And about this host club industry, this is like a cult. Host clubs target young people and operate nationwide. They use romance scam sales method and even make assumption that this girl can be sold there, or she will make this much money, and send her to the domestic and the international sex industry. On 12th December, we submitted a petition to the mayor of Shinjuku Ward, and we asked to make an ordinance. As for there was a kind of liaison conference between the Shinjuku Ward and host groups, but we were excluded from that group.
私は、被害者の声を新宿区歌舞伎町の店を回って話をしていますが、釈明ばかりで謝罪などは一切ありません。昨今の報道でなりを潜めていますが、現在は初回無料と謳っています。それがホスト産業の実態です。女性たちにマインドコントロールしています。カルト宗教の霊感商法と全く同じ手法です。信仰心を恋心に変えて20代のホストと30代や40代のホストクラブの経営者たちが結託して洗脳手術を磨いています。
So, I've been visiting host clubs in Shinjuku and Kabukicho to send the voices of victims. but all I receive are just excuses, and there's no apologies from them. Because of the recent media reports, it's been a bit quiet, but they are now again claiming the initial free entry. The first time is for free. So that's why a lot of young women are easy to get into the host club. This is the reality of host club industry. And they brainwash the women. It is exactly same techniques as the spiritual marketing the cult religious group use by replacing faith with the love. Hosts in their 20s and host club manager in their 30s and 40s work together to perfect their brainwashing techniques.
経営者はどんどん儲かります。女の子たちは性風俗店でも心も体も壊れていく。そしてそこをホストが上手にフォローして使い倒すということですね。来年結婚しよう、いつか一緒に店を持とうなどの決まり文句があり、全部マニュアル化されております。売掛支払いは後払いです。30万でも300万でも後払いだからできるんです。実際は後から体を払って返してもらうという構造です。今日は手持ちだけでいい、あとはツケで、君は俺の女だからなどと言葉を並べながら巧みに、操り人形と化します。この段階になるともはや外から口を挟むことはまずできません。以前は1000万や2000万円というレベルでしたが、最近はその額が上がり9000万円にも余り貢いでいるケースも出会いました。長く貢いでいる人もいて、8年ぐらい貢いだ人もいます。短期でも1000万ぐらいの売り上げが積もって一気に3000万円になっている人もいます。
So, management makes more and more money, and girls are getting broken both mentally and physically in this sex industry. The hosts skillfully follow them up and use them up. There are cliches like, let's get married next year, or one day we will, almost shop together, etc. All of which are written in the manual. Urikake, or account receivable, which is like, you can spend the money and you can pay it later. Whether it's 300,000 yen or 3 million yen, they feel like they can pay it back later by selling their body. In reality, the structure is like this. Girls have to work as a prostitute to pay them back. Hosts say things like, I only need what you have today. The rest will be account receivable. You're my girl. That's the technique they use. And they make young girls like a puppet. At this stage, it is no longer possible for outsiders to intervene. In the past, it was at the level of 10 or 20 million yen, but recently the amount has significantly went up. And we have met the cases like where people have spent as much as 90 million yen. Some people have been paying for a long time, like it could be 8 years they've been paying for the debts. And sometimes, like the initial case is just 10 million, then it's add up and unto 3 million in few months.
海外で売春をして稼いでいる女性もいます。オーストラリア、ラオス、フィリピンなどです。円安だから海外で稼ぐのは割がいいし、日本人の女の子はよく売れる。海外まで行かせて人身売買をしているホストとスカウトはつながっているし、スカウトと反社もつながっています。ホストが客の女の子にスカウトを紹介するのです。いろんな店で女の子は働かせますが、年齢が上がってくると最終的にはソープランドで働くようになる。性風俗産業で働く女性たちの相当数がそういう事情を抱えています。客の男が好きにされる仕事なんて続くはずがないです。嫌な思いをしてその日に作った10万円を握り、今日もホストクラブに向かうのです。シャンパンタワーをしてまた借金が増える。なぜ海外で売春できるのか。
So, some women earn money through prostitution abroad. These include Australia, Laos, and the Philippines. They go these kind of country, and it is relatively profitable at this moment to earn money abroad. because of the weight gain, and also Japanese girls are very popular among them. They are trafficked and forced to work abroad. Hosts and scouts are connected, and scouts and hansha or antisocial criminal groups are also connected. The hosts introduce scouts to their client girls. Girls are forced to work in various sex industries, but as they get older, they eventually end up working in soaplands. A significant number of women working in the sex industry have such circumstances. There is no way they can continue to work in the job where their clients can do whatever they want. They do what, the girls do what they don't like to do and grab the 100,000 yen they made that day and head to the host club again the same day. And they ask for champagne tower and get into more debt.
資料1を、参照してください。
Please see the document number 1.
暴力団対策法や暴力団排除条例によって表向きはどこも静かにしていますが、半グレなどを使っています。夜の世界ではスカウトという人たちがこれにあたり、スカウトをバックしています。みんな口ではそういう団体のつながりはないと言います。新宿歌舞伎町には600メーター四方に、6つのヤクザの事務所があります。実際新宿区とオーナーとの連絡会議でオーナーの代表が特留、いわゆる半グレとのつながりも立ちますと暗に認めています。確かにつながりがなかったらここでそんな商売はできません。歌舞伎町は600メーター四方の狭いエリア、分かっているだけでも6つの暴力団組織があります。はい、
So we're going to explain about Shinjuku Kabukicho underground community. The anti-organized crime law and the organized crime exclusion ordinance have made it, like from the outside, it looks like quiet, but they use semi-gangs groups such as hangure. In the nightlife world, these are known as the scouts. The scouts are everywhere. Everyone says they have no connection with such groups. In Shinjuku Kabukicho, there are 6 yakuza offices in just 600 meters square. In fact, at the liaison meeting between Shinjuku World and host club owners, one representative of the owners says, "We will end the connection with Tokuryu," which is another term for semi-gangs group, hangure. This implicitly admitted there was connection between them. Indeed, if there were no connection, they would not be able to do such business here in Kabukicho. Kabukicho is a small area of just 600 meters square. Just as far as I know, 6 yakuza organizations are located here.
国際的な報道の必要についてとホスト新報の署名。海外の報道によってしかこの社会問題は解決しません。自助能力は私は全く、期待していません。ホスト産業と売春産業、ヤクザ、反社会勢力を断ち切らなければいけないと思います。先の国会で自民党によって議員立法がしませんでしたが、諦めずに年明けの通常国会で成立を目指して署名運動活動を始めました。またこの問題は若者が狙われています。大学のキャンパスでも勧誘がされています。ホストやスカウトはあの手この手で産業へ組み込みます。まさにカルト手法と同じです。ジャニーズ問題や統一教会と同様の問題です。解決の糸口までに40年以上かかりました。気づいていたはずなのに放置した結果、被害が大きなものとなりました。ホストクラブは全国に1000店舗あります。つまり1万人の被害者がいる。そしてその家族を含めるともっと苦しんでいる人がいます。女性を食い物にしているこのホスト集団を放っておくことができないので立ち上がりました。ホスト産業撲滅であり、売春撲滅であり、暴力団ヤクザ撲滅です。世界中に報道していただきたい。以上でスピーチを終わります。
So I spoke about on the need of international press coverage and the significance signing of new host club legislation. Only through foreign reporting we can solve this kind of social problem. I have absolutely no expectation towards Japan's ability to solve it on its own. The host club and prostitution industry, the yakuza, and unsocial forces must be cut off. In the last parliamentary session, the lawmakers' legislation was not passed because of the LDP. But we did not give up and started working on signature campaign to get it passed in the ordinary diet session at the beginning of this year. Also, young women are being targeted on this issue. They are also being recruited on university campus. Hosts and scouts drag them into this industry with every possible approaches. It is exactly same as the cult method. It is, as I said, it is the same problem as the Chinese Associate and the Unification Church. It took more than 40 years to find the start of solution. We should have been aware of it, but we just left it, and as a result, the damage was huge. There are 1,000 host clubs across the country. That means there are 10,000 victims in total. And if you include their family, there are even more people suffer. They prey on women. We started out because we cannot leave these host groups alone. It is, we have to eradicate the host industry. We have to eradicate the prostitution. We have to eradicate gang groups and yakuza. So that's why we really need the world to report on this huge issue.
興味深い説明ありがとうございます。すでにオンラインで見てる方々から質問が来てるんですけれども、会場でも質問があると思いますが、最初は私から意見をお願いします。そもそもそのホストのビジネスでは、お客さんは割とちょっと年を取った、超お金持ちおばさんとちょっと失礼な言い方であるかもしれないけど、最近は、そのホストクラブ、で巻き込まれている今の、お客さんは割と若い女性という説明があったんですけれども、その理由、そのきっかけはいつ頃からそうなってるんですか、なぜそうなったかってもう少し詳しい説明いただけますか。はい、英語でお願いします。
So we knew about that.
I can do. Yeah, okay. So I ask, there are people who will have questions, and also I receive questions online, but I have, first of all, a question. Generally, we have the image of a host club client who are very rich women, a little bit aged women, but in this explanation, we understood that it is mainly young women who are involved in these cases. And I ask why it has changed, what is this situation, and where it has begun to change. どうぞ。
約10年ぐらい前からホストが増えてきました、店が。それまではそんなには、自分は21年間歌舞伎町でいろんな方々の相談事を受けてきましたが、10年ほどぐらい前から台頭しました。10年ぐらいからホストが増え始めました。特にコロナ、日本ではコロナ、2020年にコロナ規制によって約3年間繁華街、歓楽街、お店では自粛と言いながら、その間に徐々に闇に潜んで勢力を伸ばしてきました。閉店する店、いろんなのを少しずつ、いわゆる箱があればそこにホストがたまるから、そういう箱を買いながらホストはホストで、店外で女性客を、マッチングアプリなかなか会えないことを、伸ばしてきました。爆発的に増えたのがこの4月からです。要するにコロナがいわゆる解禁になったと。そこで、コロナ前に240店舗あった店が300店舗を超えました。その時点で。ということはもう7000人が牙を向いてかかって現状爆発的になったということです。
So for this past 10 years, the consultation regarding to the host clubs increased. And I've been working in this Kabukicho area of Shinjuku for 21 years. But this kind of consultation increased rapidly this 10 years, and especially after the pandemic of the COVID-19. Because there was kind of like, in the time, there was self-restraint, and they closed all the restaurant and bar, but actually they worked underground, like kind of dark side of Shinjuku, and there are a lot of host club are getting bigger underneath it. And they use like matching app, and they try to catch the women, young women, outside of their restaurant or their host club. As a result, in this April, this number went up again, like rapidly. And after the COVID-19, before the COVID-19, the number of the host club was 250, but now we have more than 300 host clubs. So which means 7,000 hosts are working rigorously to trick young women into this kind of industry.
質問のある方、いらっしゃいますか。もし質問がありましたら、まず手を挙げて、それでマイクの方に、来てもらって、会社と、名前を説明した上で質問してください。質問がなければ、私オンラインので2つもらったので、まずそれないですか。じゃあ最初は私の。I receive 質問は、英語ですので、はい。私はい。So I received two questions in English. The first one is submitted by Ilgin Yorulmaz, journalist with BBC Turkish, one of very active member in the club. So she asked, apart from hostesses, are there any hosts also faced with the same risk of being forced into prostitution to pay debt? Can the male and female workers in this industry unite to push the government for a solution instead of ineffective crackdowns on malicious host club? ちょっとよくわかんない。
I'm not sure about what Steven said.
そうですね。ちょっ
です
と多分、彼女は知りたいのは今は被害者は主に女性のお客さんですけれども、男性の方でも同じことは起きてるんですか。つまりゲイのお客さんはホストにはまって、それで同じようにその後賠償に巻き込まれるリスクと可能性、あるいはそういう相談はありましたか。
まずは、男性で、そういうふうな、ホステスにはまったとか売掛金は存在しません。男性の場合は社会的な、信頼度もあり、会社があり、裕福でありで、男性の場合は売春できません。だから、ある人が金がある人が、銀座とかああいうとこで夜の、社交場には行きますけども、歌舞伎町においてはホストに関してはお金のない子が18や19、20歳のお金のない子が、お店に誘い込まれます。それで体を持って2000万3000万の代償を払います。
So we think it's a bit like different problem. In the hostess, let's say in Ginza, they don't have similar problem because they only charge big company executive or people who have money and who has kind of like trust in the society. So that's why they already have money and they are not asking for urikake or account receivable. And also, usually men cannot do the prostitution, so that's why the problem is different in host club. In the Kabukicho in Shinjuku, there are like 18 the young women or young girl, age of 18 or 19, with not a lot of money, were dragged into this kind of host clubs by hosts, and they are given big debts in after spending time with hosts in the host clubs.
Hi. I received another question from Rocky Swift from working with Reuters. He's asking, these host and hostess businesses ultimately make money by reselling alcohol. So do you have considered putting pressure on alcohol distributors or makers such as Asahi, Kirin, Suntory, etc., or supply them?
この質問なんですけど、ホストであったりホステスといったビジネスでは最終的にアルコールを販売する、再販売するっていうことで、利益を出していると思うんですけど、こういった、お酒の販売元、アサヒであったりキリンさん、サントリーであったりそういった、会社にプレッシャーをかけるっていうことを検討したりっていうことはありますでしょうか？
全くないですね。なぜなら、日本の銘柄で、ビールや酒っていうのは高額には取れません。そこにドンペリとかシャンパンとか、ある程度女性自身がアルコールには、18、19、20歳未満はアルコール禁止です。まずソフトドリンクにちょっとカクテルを混ぜたりとか、そうやって飲食されてます。それで、男性ホストに気に入られるようにシャンパンを抜いたり、いわゆるみんなでグループで飲ませたりするので、日本のメーカーの、種類、酒では高額なお金は取れません。
I don't consider about it at all because Japanese beer industry, they are not so expensive. The expensive alcohol or beverage in host club are usually Dom Perignon or champagne. And of course, sometimes those girls who goes to host club are underage, could be under 20 years old, could be 18 or 19. Those girls cannot drink alcohol or not supposed to drink alcohol, and they drink soft drink, and the host adds some alcohol little by little to them. And those girls want to get like more attention from hosts, and they want them to get popular. So that's why they ask for champagne or Dom Perignon, which those girls cannot drink actually.
質問ありますでしょうか？はい、どうぞ。
ジャパンタイムズの金子です。質問としては今まで親御さんたちが相談しに来てどういうふうに対応してるんですかね。法律とかもなんか何もできないのでどういうふうに対応しているか聞きたいと思っています。
So this is a question from Ms. Kaneko of Japan Times. I think you have a lot of consultation from parents, but at this moment there's no regulation or law to protect those women. How do you react or how do you act towards this kind of consultation?
はい。まずは、ご両親から連絡があった時点で、電話、メールであった時点で、会話をします。現状は今どういう状態か、それとご両親に請求が来てるなら一切払わないように、娘さんと一切遮断じゃなく連絡は取ることがまず重要です。最初そういうふうに話させていただきます。で、2回目となったら、どこのホストにハマってるか云々を、親御さんなりが調べてきて、それが歌舞伎町であるとか、東京都内とか、近県であるとか、具体的に出た時に、歌舞伎町が圧倒的に今のところ多いですから歌舞伎町に来ていただいて、私どもの事務所を、話をします。実際にその時に面談にして会うことによってもっと具体的に分かるのと、娘がいるであろうホストの店名も分かります。そこから少しずつ詰めていきます。なぜなら、急に娘さんがお金が、必要になったその時に、聖母蓮を介して、私たちが渡したりとか距離を少しずつ縮めていきます。
ありがとうございます。で、今まで最もひどいケースとか教えていただけますか？
さっき
もう流れてるってことで、
今までの
はい、今まで
一番ひ ひどい
あ
ひどいはい
思われるケース。
今まで一番ひどいと思われることは本当に毎日がひどすぎて麻痺しますけども、去るところでは、7年間でまず9000万円を、男性ホストに払いながら今もやってると。身も心もボロボロになって、妊娠を6回もしたと。それでもホストからなかなか切れない。まだ金を出せと。まだ結婚しようと。8年経ってもまだ断ち切れてないと。まあ、親御さんもそれ以上は踏み込めないと。だからいまだにエンドレスです。救いようがないというやつですよね。はい。
So I'm going to first of all answer the first question, and I'll translate into English. And it was like, how do you react to the consultation from the parents of young women? And I think we received the consultation from email or phone call. And at the first time we got phone call, we asked about the current situation of the specific women, and we asked the parents to not to pay. If they were asked to pay by the host or any other groups, please do not pay, and please keep the connection and keep communicating with your daughter. At the second time, and we asked usually those consultations is about host club in Kabukicho. So we asked the parents to come to our offices, and we're gonna ask more in detail which host your daughter is going, or what kind of problem you have, or what with the amount of money. And as we got more information, which host these girls go, or this kind of thing, we can solve more problem in detail. And when the girl need the money, the parents can give money through his office and assist the young women who are trapped into the host clubs. And she asked about the worst case scenario, or worst case we have faced so far. And the worst case he has, or they have faced, is a girl who went to host and I think continued to pay back for 7 years, and the total amount would be 90 million Japanese yen. She's being paying back to the host, and she's still paying back to the host and to the host club. She experienced pregnancy for 6 times, but she still has a connection with the host she was supporting, and because there was kind of affection towards the host, so that's why she still keeps the connection with the host, and she couldn't get out of this industry.
ありがとうございます。で、最後に質問があるんですけど、いろんな人はほとんどみんな自己責任っていう考えがあるんですけど、それに対してどう思いますか?
So I'm explaining in English. I think thank you so much for the time. There are a lot of cases and a lot of people, many people in Japan think this is your own problem. What do you think about this attitude of Japanese people?
全くね、自己責任っていう範疇は超えてて、本当にマインドコントロールされているので、まず断りにくい環境を作る、温かい人間関係を築く、未解決な問題を提示してズバリ答えてみせる、とにかく実践させて分からせる、考えさせない、自己犠牲を払わせる、そういうふうにカルトの共通点としてあるんですよね。洗脳、行動や思想、考えることを停止させて操り人形化します。でそこに、恋愛、結婚しよう、1年後には常に心の中に入り込んでいるから、家族がいかように説き伏せようが不可能なんです。先日、アメリカ帰りの娘さんがホストにはまって、慌てて逃げて帰ってきました。ソープランドから薬物を、投与されたと。それがマリファナであり、コカインじゃないかと。そういうような、本人自身アメリカ行った時に何度か見たことある風景を見て怖くて逃げてきたと。こういう例もあります。
So he believes this is totally wrong to think this problem is just on problem on young women. They use the host and everyone there use mind control or brainwash, and they use skills and techniques of the cult group which exists in Japan, like not to make them to think and give them kind of like warm relationship with the host. So that's why young women are trapped into the host even more, and they try to make young women like a puppet, and they use cliches or like kind of saying that like in the 1 year time we're gonna get married, or you're my girl, this kind of techniques, and try to get connected with her in depth. And even the family member cannot like convince young girls to not to believe what host says. In one case, there was a girl she used to live in United States, and she was trapped in the host club, and she ended up working in Sopland, and she was forced to take marijuana or cocaine, which she experienced or saw it in the United States, and she saw it's really bad situation, so that's why she started to run away. But we have this kind of really serious cases as well.
すいません、薬物を強制している。
強制って言います？
強制摂取されて。
それは誰からですか？ホスト
から。
ありがとうございます。
何か他の質問ありますか？ Is it, do you have a, yes, please.
Thank you very much. My name is John Getty. I'm from Reuters. Allow me to ask my question in English, if that's all right. You mentioned some cases where underage women are in these clubs. How many of the consultations that you've received have been from underage women? Are they allowed to be in these clubs? And if not, have you raised this issue with law enforcement? Thank you.
ロイターのジョン・ゲリエ Is that okay? Right?
Good.
It was ジョン・ゲリエさんからの質問で、成人に満たない女性たちのケースがあるっていうことがあるって聞いたんですけど、そういった相談っていうのは結構相談の割合の中で大きなところに含まれるんでしょうか。でそういった場合ってホストクラブはそういったことを許されてるんでしょうか。それに対して何か対応とかってされているんでしょうか。
成人に満たない子、いわゆる日本では18歳未満を言います。その子らは予備軍的にホストが18歳になるまでずっと仕込みを入れてます。出会い系で恋人友達のように付き合いながら、18歳になったらホストの店でシャンパンタワー300万です。まして日本の法律では20歳未満はアルコール飲めません。表向きは。で店に入ったら飲みます。タバコも吸います。全くグレーです。犯罪集団の出口です。はい。
So actually, the hosts wait them to be over the 18 until they become over the 18 years old. But before then, they started to approach them, like getting connected with matching app and make them fall in love with hosts. And once they became like 18 years old, they asked young girls to come to the host club and ask for champagne, which is like 3 million yen. And even though in Japan, the girls or people under 20 years old cannot drink alcohol, and cannot smoke cigarette, but it is kind of gray zone, and they forced young women to start drinking under the age of 20.
Yes, please.
Just to clarify, you mentioned earlier you had 200 consultations. I think that means complaints regarding this. How many of those complaints related to women under the age of 20, i.e. that weren't able to drink? Thank you.
Under the 20 or under the 18, you said? Under the 20.
20.
Under
20 is the legal drinking age.
Yeah. この200の相談っていうのがあったとおっしゃったと思うんですけど、そのうちお酒を飲めない20歳以下の件数ってどれぐらいの子たちなんですか。
半分以上です。
More than half.
今は大学の中で、女性が、売掛金で払えなかったら友達を紹介します。その友達で売掛金をなくそうということで大学の中で、ホストまして、今は無料ですから気楽に行けるように敷居が低いですよね。
So they work in the university campus as well. Like one girl who is university student cannot pay the debt or account receivable. The girls who have paid and it's kind of debt, like they have to pay after that. If there's a girl who cannot pay the account receivable, they introduce another her friend or her friends in university to the host club to pay for the account receivable. And because now it's first time it's free, it's so easy for university students to get into this host club industry.
Any other question? If no, I have one. 最近、報道の番組で、歌舞伎町で警察が立ち入り検査したような映像があったと思うんですけれども、それは茶番劇ですか、それとも本気で何かメッセージ入れてやろうとしてるんですか？
一つは警告であり、一つは高額な売掛金問題が社会問題だと警察庁トップが来たいうことは大いに効果がありました。ただし日本人は喉元過ぎれば暑さ忘れるで今復活してます。今度は無料入店っていう部分で復活です。本当にバカにした話です。
So the question also.
Could you say the question in English? I didn't remember.
So I ask in Japanese. I saw recently on television news some footage of policemen or prosecutors entering host club in Kabukicho to have an investigation, but I asked them it was only a kind of kabuki theater, or if it is exactly to try to make this to force this industry to not to do a wrong thing. Can you translate the answer?
Okay, I'll translate the answer from Mr. Gen. He thinks it was kind of warning because the amount of the money was so expensive and this is becoming like a social issue. So that's why the top of the police in Japan started work, and it has like significant effect and there are a lot of like coverage about this investigation. But Japanese people are so easy to forget about those kind of things. So they started to forget, and now we have the system of the first entry for free. So that's why the host industry is becoming big again.
We still have 5 minutes, so if you have no more questions, yes, please.
Just one more point of clarification about the issue of you saying more than half of the women, the 200 complaints you've received relate to women under the age of 20. Last year, Japan lowered the age of adulthood, the legal age of adulthood, from 20 to 18. I've read in some media reports about this issue that you think this could be related in some way to the amount of young women who are now being exploited. Could you elaborate on that, please?
先ほどおっしゃった200件の相談のうちの半分が、20歳以下ということに関してなんですけど、成人年齢が20歳から18歳に引き下げされたことにあるんですけど、今回の、若い女性がホストに行ってしまうっていう問題とこの、成人年齢の引き下げっていうのは関連していると思われますか？
全く関連してます。その通りです。 それと社会経験がほとんどない大学生が、視力お金もない大学生が単なる、歓楽街を歩いてるだけで Twitter、SNS でちょっとかっこいいアイドルに声かけられてっていうちょっとした隙間に誘い込まれます。それは、ペテン師のように口もうまいです。容姿もスタイルも K-POP 風です。かっこいいです。ですぐ、出会った時から運命の出会い I love you とかもう耳元でささやかれたら一気に落ちます。そういう、女子大学生なんかは、男性経験も少ないしボーイフレンドも少ない地方からの出身者です。
So I believe this is definitely related to the problem of host club. Those like university students, they don't have a lot of experience and they don't have much money and they don't have a lot of knowledge. That they are just 18 or 19, but they get to know hosts from the SMS or from just walking the street or from the Twitter, and they found those hosts are really attractive, really good looking, and looks like a K-pop artist, but it's like kind of scheme of fraud. And those hosts use words like "this is destiny," "I love you," "I need you," or this kind of like cheap cliche. And these like young university student women are coming from countryside of Japan, and they don't have a lot of experience, and they don't have a lot of boyfriends, so that's why they're so prone and easy to get into this kind of business.
最後の質問は私からですけれども、その女性は、ホストに余って結果的に自分の体を売ることになるんですけれども、他のそういうことの入り口はあると思いますが、例えば GK ビジネスとか地下アイドルとかそういうところでも問題があると思いますが、それ GK ビジネスに巻き込まれた女性の親からの相談もありますか？それとも全然別で全く関係ないと思われますか？ I will ask you a question, the same question in English. So I ask, a way to become a prostitute, unfortunately, is to be in love with a host who forced women to prostitute themselves to pay debt. But there is other bad way to be involved in prostitution. Could it be, for example, the so-called GK business, which is the business with the higher school girls involved in a kind of maid cafe and so on, which is allowed in Japan, as well as the so-called chica idol. The young women who are involved in girls band in Akihabara and so on. So I asked if they also receive some consultation from parents of these young girls who can also be after that involved in the host business.
ほとんどつながってます。80% は、JK ビジネス、秋葉原地下アイドル、そこから年少からなってて18歳になったらホストにチェンジです。そういうふうにして卵を育てるように鶏にしていきます。チキンですよね。そういうふうにもう、夜の歓楽街に JK ビジネスでも何でもそういうところ出入りしだしたら今度その子にはキャスト、ホストの卵がいます。そういう人らがキャッチします。そしてゆくゆくはそういうホストに貢ぎ上げるように、コントロールしていきます。
They are definitely connected, like almost like 80% would be connected with things. And those JK business located in Akihabara area in Tokyo, And for the host and this kind of industry, they are like those young girls, underage girls are like eggs to become a chicken to harvest later on, and they're so connected. And after they got like over 18, they started to come to the Kabukicho area and busy district at night, and they are kind of like eggs and younger like generation hosts as well, and they started to get those girls get into the host industry.
ありがとうございます。So, time has come to the end. So, if nobody has no more question, we'll close this press conference. A lot of the people were watching online, so I hope that your involvement to stop this escalating business will have some result also thanks to report not only in Japan but also outside of Japan. 今日は本当にどうもありがとうございます。大変内容ですので、
Thank you very much for the time, everyone.
はい。